think people are going to be excited to see now in the quakeProLeague.
Yeah, these guys are going to be shaking hands and playing the game a little later. So we'll see how that one's going to pan out. We'll talk about predictions a little later on. Do we have something to show now?
We do have something a little bit special. We had Freya previously interview cypher, so we're actually going to dip into that before we come back with the game. So enjoy this wonderful interview.
Welcome everybody to quakeProLeague. My name is Freya and I am sitting down today with newly qualified player cypher from Na'Vi. So let's kick things off by discussing the Stage 1 finals at Luca Comics and Games. Your route to the semi-finals was one of the most talked about things after Luca. How did you prepare for the tournament, and did you feel like your opponents underestimated your form?
From one side, I think they can underestimate me because they didn't see me for a long time on the competitive scene. From the other side, I think they know and they remember who I am, so I can't say so for sure. But how I was practicing, I was practicing for about 8 weeks, I would say, because Challenger started like 8 weeks before the Luca, 9 weeks. And before each tournament but one, I practiced. And yeah, I managed to get my shape back, and even better, I started to play even better because I started to understand more things, and especially with the new time limit mode. Yeah. It's more natural for me because I'm from Quake Life, so yeah, it gives me some advantage. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, specifically focusing on your game against Garpy, which was one of the closest games played at the event. What was going through your mind during that game 5 that was decided by one single frag?
You know, at this moment you don't really think about what's going on, or you just play your game and you try to focus first of all on the game, and you don't really think about that about anything. But what I was thinking about after second loss, like when I lost the second map and I knew that I needed to win this thing, I need to win 3 in a row, and at this specific second it seems like it's not possible. but then every minute I was getting stronger. At some point I was lucky to win first map, then I was lucky to win second map, and on last map I wasn't thinking about any bad things, like that I lost first 2 maps or he's playing really good or something like that. I was just trying to focus on my game, and luckily I managed to finish it off with good result. Yeah, I can't say much. I mean, the first thought was that after the second map, on the third map, he was doing a lot more different moves that didn't give him a lot of advantage. Yeah. As he did on the first 2 maps, because on the first 2 maps he played exactly like he should to play against me, and I wasn't really ready for such fights, I would say. And on third map he started to react differently on my moves, so I think that like together these things make him lose and me win.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, coming into week 1 of stage 2, you're going to be playing against k1llsen. What are your thoughts coming into that matchup?
Not much thoughts. We already make the maps and champs, and I don't know, I'm pretty satisfied with my pick, even though it doesn't look really default with what used to play. In the same time, I know that if I'll manage to win all of my opponents in online stage, I will be able to actually top the ladder. So I will try my best to do so, like no matter what. And it doesn't matter who I'm gonna play, like k1llsen, it's gonna be like Cooler, Razy, Avec, Hron, doesn't matter.
Speaking of the other 9 players you're going to be facing this stage, which matchups are you most excited for, and which do you think are going to be the most tough?
The most tough, I think, gonna be against Cooler, I think so. The most exciting, yeah, I think this one against k1llsen is the most exciting for me because I'm starting my way in the Pro League and it's my first match. and I wanted to start it with a good note.
Do you kind of see yourself as a bit of an underdog coming into stage 2, as this is your sort of first appearance?
Yeah, and yes and no at the same time. I think people already understand that I managed to fight for top spots, but in the same time, internet conditions is a bit different than LAN conditions, and I used to play much worse on internet than on LAN, and people used to know me, how I play, and they don't really, I think, scare that much as in Quake Live, for example.
Yeah, I mean, have you set yourself any goals for this stage, and where do you see yourself realistically finishing in Katowice at the end of this stage?
Yeah, as I said, my main goal, and just in general, I'm thinking about climbing to the top of the ladder, and then to prove it in Katowice. Even though it's getting really hard for me to get to get into such game to be top 1, but at the same time I'm really thinking a lot about that, and I'm really looking forward to make it possible, even though that it's really hard and it's so many great players around. And first place always for me is the only way and the only aim I'm looking for, always in every game, in every situation, I guess. Even though that even if I'm not in the best conditions for that, I still can think that I can do that.
Did you play against any opponents that you feel we should look out for during Stage 2 Challenger that we may see in the promotion and relegation games in Katowice?
From what I know, that I think that maybe I misunderstood something, but I heard Agent was unbanned and he gonna play challengers. Then there is people like Silencep, Sirius might come back, Garpy, Hell, Russians, lots of them is pretty good. I think these challengers will be much more interesting than the first one. I'm pretty much sure, because there is so much more competitive in it than it was in the first one.
Well, thank you so much for your time, cypher, and good luck in your games this week.
Thanks.
Awesome stuff there. Obviously, the word straight from the horse's mouth of cypher, giving us some knowledge bombs about what he feels like and how things have been going for him.
Yeah, I love that he's talking as well at the end about just all the different players that we've got, at least on the EU side, sort of pressing forward in the challenges, because there is indeed a lot of talent out there that's looking to press forward, get into the QPL, and show what they're made of at LAN.
I know that was one of the things you actually did want to mention as well, involving the challenges stuff.
Yeah.
Is that something you want to delve into quickly?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I just wanted to give a quick shout out because we've had a weekend of challenges just take place yesterday. We've had a couple of victors who are making their way to the top 16 of challenges to then play their own bracket. So we've got Buxter and Neutrino that have come out on the EU side, which is really impressive. Neutrino from Russia, Buxter from Latvia, both of which have attended some LANs already in Quake Champions. And over on the other side, we happen to have Dander King and Steege, I believe, who won for themselves. They're Aussies, so they're going to be taking place in the Challenger Finals, I presume we'll call it. And they don't have to sweat it too much, at least over the next couple of weeks, because their spot is secured, likewise for Neutrino and Buxter.
Well, there you go. So for the up-and-comers, everything's looking very good. But for the living legends of Quake, that is where we are going next, of course, as it's cypher versus k1llsen. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, that's actually going to be really tasty. We can start to think about that now completely. I think this is going to be a hard game for cypher, personally. We didn't ever see this match beforehand, but the fact that he's come back into this shape, he's back. He is back. That's kind of what everyone's been saying about him. What is the sky the limit? Who on earth knows? But he managed to give himself a top 4 placing over in Luka. We get to see some of this Belarusian genius at work and see how much higher he can go.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome, obviously, just to see the revitalization, the return of someone that has so much stock to him, obviously, just for the fans at home as well. It's probably a very cool return and household name to now see back in the scene, especially in quakeProLeague. I imagine he's really going to want to prove a point here. First game, obviously, stage 2 coming in, and you're facing off versus k1llsen. If there was an opportunity for this man to really want to prove the level of lethality he has within him, this would be it.
Oh, completely. But then on the side of k1llsen, despite falling in the semis to Cooler at Luca, he has been absolutely incredible throughout stage 1, at QuakeCon, winning it, of course. He's already won a Luca a couple of years ago, so he's had his chance to get there. He just wants to get more names on the belt, so he'll have to wait till at least Katowice for that. This guy's an absolute titan in the scene at the moment, and he keeps on, really stepping up his game.
Yeah, he does indeed. That's going to be the biggest question for me, though, about this is obviously, was it a blip? What happened? Obviously, he made obviously his points after the event and said how he felt that things could have gone or didn't go. Now it's going to be a matter of prove it with actions.
Yes.
We know, obviously, he's been getting himself ready today. He's going to come in fresh. It's a big one. He's back at home soil. He's going to be comfortable in an environment that he's dominated in the past with ease. Will that be how things go here?
I mean, we're absolutely going to have to see. I'm personally leaning in favor of k1llsen right now. I'll probably be getting some nasty looks from many people in chat, but then again, there's a lot of people out there who are thinking k1llsen is a god among men, and could rightfully take it.
Yeah, it's the fact that I think k1llsen really, when we look at it statistically, he was easily one of our best players the entire time. Like, him and Rafa were pretty head-to-head in terms of just unreal understanding of the game, the fact they were 5 steps ahead of their opponent every time, and just the shots that he was hitting. Whereas now it's a question of, do we scrap all that and ignore it and pretend we just know about Luca? But
yeah,
we'll get into that a bit after we see the picks and bans as well, because this will probably aid our decision.
Completely. And the funny thing is, in the online section, really the only enemy that k1llsen had was Wenger. He was the one giving him the hardest time. But here we are. We've got Blood Run into Ruins into Molten. We are getting Slash immediately from cypher, and I am, in high anticipation of that. That should be really exciting. A bit of an El Clasico already. We've just had a Ruins with the Visor and Galena, and we'll be finishing off on an Eisen and Doom. A nice sort of like eclectic mix of some different styles here, but something like home favorites too.
Yeah, this actually should be a really sick game. Based off the picks we have going into this, we've got some pretty expected stuff, honestly, for Sarnath and Molten. That to me seems like it'll be pretty consistent. Blood Run's the one where I think it's going to be quite explosive, especially just because it's cypher, and he's cypher.
It's interesting as well with Slash on Blood Run, because there's a lot of cool traps you can lay with the plasma field, and if cypher's really up to scratch with that, we could see a pretty mind-blowing game. I still kind of expect Range. Well, it's interesting because Range is normally known for having that very early aggression that he can get himself onto the Mega and Heavy very fast, but because of Slash movement speed, can that cause an interruption? Let's get into the game and find out, guys. It is cypher versus k1llsen. And cypher, straight away, getting all over the heavy armor.
Oh!
Okay.
All right, 10 seconds in, and cypher is already giving it. This could be a double kill ready, which it will. 2 frags on the board in a matter of seconds for the main man.
And you know what? This is already hard work for k1llsen on Blood Run, because of one of the most mobile champions at the moment. How defensively can cypher play to hold on to this lead?
cypher, the fight never stops with this man. Already continuing to try and do some more damage here. A slight miss on the rail, but the Tri-Bolt will do some splash damage across back onto k1llsen. He gets the Mega at least, and actually comes back for second, Zoo.
Oh, he's going to get punished for that. And cypher will take it. Still no rockets for cypher. Doesn't seem too worried about this. It's about getting there safely, and when there aren't other objectives to be afraid of. Or focused on, should I say. Nice little orb play from k1llsen. He does like to work with this. He's got the Mega coming up.
Wow, that was a really lovely little snapshot reaction there from cypher. Gets the tag back onto k1llsen. k1llsen starting to make his move though. escapes from the clutches of cypher and gets himself into a bit of a position to roam around, add back to that stack, and also bolster up the arsenal, firing down the warning rockets, hoping to connect them. Goes for the bolt swing across. The rockets are hitting. Dire Orb, nice for the initiation, but he's so low. Luckily, the Mega comes in the nick of time. The plasma field has to go out because cypher is bailing.
Yeah, bailing gets through the teleporter. Now he might meet up versus llsen. Oh, he gets the rail shot off. He is so fast around the corner. llsen is on the board. Trust him to be landing those hard rails.
Yeah, that was a beautiful shot.
We're going to have a drop down to Mega, presumably, but he's waiting. It's a nice little bait. He's done so much. The rail to follow up. We're 2 for 2. It was an explosive start for cypher. Things are twisting and turning as we have got massive levels of control for our German boy llsen.
llsen holding close on the angle here, listening out for the audio cue as well, waiting for the push to come around, goes in with a rocket, does get a nice tag off, juggles him up in the air, and then slams him back down into the ground. cypher feeling the true pain there of gravity.
That was very, very quick steal. llsen's been leaving items up just to trap. He's got such a hard read on some of the moves that cypher's trying to do. It's been profitable for him thus far. Where else does it take him? And there will be setups for Heavy in the near future. He's going to line themselves up earlier for it. He hears the bounce pad using. Alright, well, I got center map. No problem.
Stopwatch.
Doesn't even need to really actively go for Mega that much. It's such a given. And he already had 150 150 health. The plasma trap does not work. And llsen will maintain a slight stack advantage. And that will lead into another rotation. And it's very they're waiting for each other. cypher's realized that he's been getting trapped a lot, so he's decided, you know what, I'm going to be a bit more stationary around the map. I'm going to try and listen out a little more, and I'm going to try and see if I can maybe get llsen to walk into my shots. This is tricky. He can't go for Heavy. It's too risky. cypher's going to be able to get full item control. Oh, some big shots there with the rockets again, and a follow-up, 4-2. cypher misses an important rail to close out that fight, and llsen still snags away to make it an extra advantage for him.
Yeah, this is going very well for llsen right here. If he can keep this up, this is going to be damaging. cypher taking knocks right now, not only to his confidence, but also to his speed, to his morale in the game. If he just keeps getting overthrown like this, llsen's getting some really tasty moves on the go. Slowing down the pace, though, a little bit, as he is just going to hold for the meantime. Trying to waste that clock for as long as possible.
He love you. Oh, there's the rail out. He needs to get through the teleporter, and it just gets there. cypher misses the shot. It's very difficult to play out of control, though, versus a slash as stacked as this.
5 minutes.
Sees him. It's good effort of the tri-bolt, but cypher not running into any traps. 150, 150. Ooh, still landing it.
llsen.
He's got a nice rotation on those light armors at the moment, which is keeping him in it, especially going versus a light champion. Just going to orb onto it. I think a shotgun was being held by cypher, so he's kind of got punked a little bit there on control, and llsen is contesting hard.
llsen just lurking around right now, playing it very slowly, waiting. cypher doing the same, has the high ground over there as llsen will TP out quickly to try and get into a better spot. Looks to evade him. cypher making some noise. llsen will finally show his hand as he fires off one shot. Can't drop down. cypher gets the Mega, but gets tagged, so pretty much negates it there. Ooh. That was a close shot from the rail. Very much the respect game being played from both of them.
cypher was running into too many traps early on, so he's really trying not to do that again. But adopting this playstyle means that he's really not getting into any fights at all. He needs to find some damage exchanges. llsen's got some strong positions on the map, so he's usually ready for whatever Cypher has to throw at him. And he's kind of happy with his lead. Here comes Heavy. Great understanding of what Cypher's trying to do. Strips apart all the stack that Cypher had. Now he can't do much at all. He needs probably another 30 seconds to get in this. Oh my god. I thought he was going to try and deny the lives. You're going to have to rocket yourself quite a lot to get there. And there is a mega health. Cypher's going to realize that in a moment, but he hasn't gone for it.
Slow one so far. He's got the drop on him though, llsen. That's cheeky. Gets the backstab off, eliminates Cypher very easily there with the element of surprise aiding him. Does take a rocket to the face and expects the push to come towards him. Will be able to overthrow Cypher again with the follow-up shot.
I mean, llsen's been getting so much value, leaving up a major item and trapping Cypher on an entrance to an area. There's the LG to rail snap as he goes back up the bounce pad. 8-2. llsen looking really, really hot. It's just like whatever llsen does at the moment, since the start where Cypher had the better, everything he touches turns to gold. Or blood, alternatively.
llsen is living right now. This is just so easy for him. Completely overthrowing. Wow, Cypher takes the bolt right to the face. As he is going to get railed down, leaving him on death's door.
Oh, you're in the blood pool. Okay, well, you take some time doing that. I'm going to go and get other items on the map and feel good. Worthy trade for llsen. And he's listening really well. He's getting a lot of information from the sound cues. It's helping him set up traps. An orb to come out. He does want to change. Takes his time getting the right weapon out. But at 2 seconds, there'll be the mega health up. So any little mild whiff won't matter. Oh my god, that hurt. Oh. He ate it all with his teeth.
1 minute
Yeah, no, that is really nice. That was very clean. llsen. Ooh, good prediction there. Fires out through the hole. Wow, gets the follow-up as well. The connection to just blow Cypher into multiple pieces. That's the free mega, and it's looking like this is just a matter of time before he shuts this one down. Would like to have 12 frags on the way out, but that's the suicide for Cypher.
Can you get him back to 0 is the question. Because the rest of it won't matter too much at the moment. There's a snap rail possibility. Oh, he just picks him off just as he goes through the teleporter. 15 seconds to go. It's 12-1. He's been heard. llsen looking extraordinarily good here on map 1 Blood Run, a map that you'd definitely say can be a tasty one for Cypher. Like I said, 12-1 is the final score.
You win.
He locks it down and walks away as the victor there on the opening map. Not surprising that llsen looks absolutely sick there. Definitely showing that he still maintains the form that we expect to see from the man as he really pops off massively. Unfortunately for Cypher as well, it's the fact that the first 2 kills of the game were beautiful. He comes straight in,
awesome.
Huge stuff, and then nothing. Gone. Dropped off the face of the earth.
Just, and he even lost one of them, so it doesn't work out too well. llsen, I mean, what a game though he had. Apart from the first 30 seconds, it was pretty damn clean. His traps were amazing when he wanted to play a default control style. Cypher just kind of moved away from him completely. He found that that strategy wasn't working, so he's going to go back to being a little bit more mobile around the map, and that's when llsen decides, you know what, I'm going to go back to setting some traps, back to leaving up some major items, and it just like the stars aligned for llsen. Cypher kept on coming around the corner that he was hoping he would. And you've got such a fickle stack when you're a Slash. Especially when you don't have control, it's very, very difficult. This is one of the biggest fights that we had. I'd say that was the defining moment. If Cypher wins that, the entire game is different. He will possibly get some control following it, but llsen went massive.
Oh yeah, really, really awesome stuff there coming out from llsen, just looking like he always does, right? Really just vintage llsen on display, as he can pop off, and that's exactly what he did.
Well, we've got some more maps. We're going to be going over to Ruins next, where we have, as I say, the classic Visor and Galena. It's going to be Visor for cypher. Galena is going to be picked by llsen, and we'll see what kind of meaty game we can have from that. We just saw a Visor Galena between Sagib and Chain. Visor won that one 7-4. Have we had another Visor Galena tonight? Let me reviewing my notes. Is that okay? I'll do that. Do it live, okay? I think that's the only. Don't look at me while I'm looking at my notes. It was the only the other one. The last game was the only Visor Galena. We've had plenty of Visor and Galena, but separately.
That just says, "I really love 40 Lions."
Don't read that out loud.
Oh, sorry.
It's for later.
Something about vertical biscuits? Well, here we go. We're back in map 2, llsen versus cypher. Cypher, if he can have another huge start like he did in the prior game, that would be naughty. He tries to go in with a gauntlet.
Oh. And I think there was a bit of totem damage there, just to kind of clean up the fight a little faster. Mega's not even been taken yet. So llsen's like, alright, I guess I'll frag. Oh, that's a dirty little flick that he has to return fire. That was another chance for a kill, but we have got heavy spawning in a second. llsen says, you know what, I'm way too late on that. Let's put some pressure elsewhere.
llsen bounding around already. Drops out a totem there as he looks to initiate early on with the LG, firing out the warning nails. Oh, and then he will finish it with the rail right to the lips.
That was more than just warning nails. Oh my god, the follow-up rail.
Oh, he's sick, isn't he?
He's inventing these angles at the moment. These are some very, very quick shots. If you want to talk about vintage llsen, that's vintage llsen. That is the railsen that we want to be seeing.
That is naughty. It's honestly unfair to put anyone on the server with this man.
Well, cypher, he's given himself a big mountain to climb. I think it looked a lot smaller beforehand when people saw what he was doing in Luca, but there's work to be done. llsen doesn't seem to be shaken by whatever happened versus Cooler. He's here on business. Oh, he does need that rail. He's pretty low on weaponry. But because Heavy's up next, it's like, right, well, no worries.
Getting the tags off as he's landing his rails.
Oh, God.
Oh, just destroying anyone that steps in front of him.
So that's what cypher likes to do. He likes to sort of double, triple peek, but on this occasion, llsen knew it and also landed a rail every single time. These are disgusting stats we're getting from him. Where did he run off to? He has got the mega health. We might have to drop down and see what he's made of. I think for cypher... Oh, he's on the eyeball, the orb.
Stopwatch.
I like that. Smooth little gap.
Jump beat there coming across. llsen getting these tags off. Will be able to strip his way through llsen very easily as he tears him to pieces.
He's probably done over 800 damage already with the railgun. It's very, very difficult to go versus someone when they're landing like this. This reminds me of the old Zadrop play. That's for someone. That's for the people out there with the Quake Live folklore. And it was a game between cypher and llsen, as it happens. And that point, it happened on Blood Run. And it's just when cypher cannot take the abuse of rails that llsen's giving him.
It's too much to handle right now. It's not going very well for him at all. cypher playing so slow at this point, really changing the pace. And llsen just dominant, locking it down entirely. Does get slapped on the side, and it will strip a little bit of his HP off.
Now, llsen's control now is like casual, right? I got my lead. We accomplished the main objective early on. Now we can take a sort of rapid turn into part 2 of the kill cypher strategy, or beat cypher strategy, should I say. Where you just maintain control and force cypher to make those risks. Don't fall into the traps of a well-timed piercing sight. And now look for some kind of exit damage if possible on these heavies taken.
Ooh,
and that's it. That's exactly what he needed. Strips away the overstack armor. And he's feeling good again.
Yeah, it was a nice little prediction coming around the corner. Yeah, one rail remaining, so not ideal, but he's got to find something to work with here. k1llsen just darting back and forth. Ooh, drop down. They meet face to face. He lifts him up into the air. Wow, k1llsen somehow survives his way through it and does get the frag. Another kill picked up there versus Cypher.
Even though he misses the first rocket with the totem behind him, the damage that he's getting into close range with the rockets, it's the trump card. He just about takes down Cypher in this instance. We're coming up to the halfway mark. Still got one rail to go. He needs this mega health. There's no spam below to worry about too much. And he'll have to give up the heavy yet again. And also piercing sight was just used. And k1llsen's he's not even baiting out these shots. He's not going for these crazy angles. He's like, I can't afford to take a rail, so I'm not going to put myself in a position where I can. I don't know necessarily if he's used the piercing sight yet, but let's just always assume he has.
So he's got the info, he knows what is going on right now. 5 minutes and 30 have passed.
He hasn't, sorry to interrupt, he hasn't made a play on heavy for a long time, so now suddenly setting up early, it makes things awkward for Cypher to approach the fight. He gained so much by taking the heavy instead of the mega. He's like, right, well, let's just ensure that's the one thing I take away from this rotation.
Ooh, smooth moves to try and get himself into a better position as he heads his way up towards the mega, but he takes so much damage, he's forced to retreat. He couldn't commit to it. It wasn't worth it either. I mean, he's got 7 frags. Cypher has none. It was a bit of a risky, low percentage win, so he didn't go for it.
He's going to back away from that. Knows that Cypher took the mega health, but doesn't want too tricky games. If anything, the jump across was pretty harsh. Breakaway, totem 25, and a light. He's not far away from the stack that Cypher has. Cypher needs to find a way to kind of break this insane positional control. Rocket totem to rail. 8-0. And it just goes from bad to worse.
Sickening stuff. So much damage being cast out here by k1llsen. He really is just having a field day with it. Again, another confrontation comes his way and Cypher gets picked to pieces in a matter of seconds. The rockets start getting shot towards him as well. This will spook him and he does retreat for now. 7 minutes through and k1llsen looks untouchable here.
I think he's just set himself like this, like mini goal. It's like, I don't really want to win. I want to not even be fragged once. He got fragged twice over on Blood Run. He's definitely making amends on that here on Ruins, but he is low HP. Piercing Sight was recently used, so Cypher knows that he was lurking there. And it's not like there's been insane amounts of totems all the time or anything. Sure, Cypher's run into a couple, but we haven't seen much in the way of triple totems.
No, yeah, that is true. Ooh, the spam coming close, barely hitting. Cypher not really given an opportunity to fight back. Seems like he's a little bit timid into these fights as well. He doesn't want to overcommit, but the problem is he's not going to have any time to.
Oh, he heard it. There might be a jump down. There is. k1llsen picks a safe position. He's going to get himself a light. He has to get out of here before he's chased. This is one of the most dangerous points he's been in so far. He'll get the 25 in time, but still being pressured. He needs these perfect defensive rockets, but Cypher finally breaks around the corner, finally gets on the board. But look at the heaps of homework he's just been given by the teacher. He's got 8 kills to get in a minute 45.
It's probably too little too late at this point though, surely, as the frag will get racked up again. Cypher 2-9. It's going to take so much more. He does start to move around quite fluidly, setting himself up for the follow-up frags. Sends off the warning shot, but he can't quite connect it from that angle. He's running to wall. He's stuck on the walls
There you go. Well, he shouldn't lose out on heavy, but he's lost out on time. Rocket jump up. Oh, slightly butchered, and again, losing out on precious time, resources. Oh, the rocket jumps. He's invoked the power of Cooler, and his jumps just don't want to go anywhere for him.
It's all started to go wrong.
Nice rails. If we had stuff like that earlier on, it would have been fantastic, but it was all about the k1llsen rail.
I mean, he does have the piercing side. He can try and reinitiate. Oh, no. Oh, dear, oh, dear. At this point, he can still try. I mean, he's starting to link these frags together. He is bridging the gap slightly, but the fact it would just take so much more for him to actually shut this one down and win it in 30 seconds, it doesn't look likely.
No, absolutely not. k1llsen was just far too solid for too long, and as soon as cypher makes a big play to get himself on the board, what do you know? There's not enough time left. I think it's a shame that k1llsen couldn't perfect the game to the final minute, because I think we saw such a dominant streak from him.
Yeah.
But cypher might be feeling a bit better now going into a third map, having accumulated at least a few frags, so that Molten maybe turns out a little differently.
Maybe. It might have reinvigorated him slightly, because obviously you would be frustrated if it went through with k1llsen actually having a flawless game there, so luckily that did not need to occur.
k1llsen did hit 51% rail in the end, 17 of 33 landed and fired. So yeah, I feel like the majority of all of that happened in the first 5 minutes of the game, though, because he was hitting, what, 3-4 rails in a row to take down cypher on a couple of occasions. It's so hard going. So this was one of the most sort of devastating. It's like the nails into rail. You just got the mega health lurking around the corner. If you can grab that, you've got the resources to go ahead. One of the best double rails I've seen ever, from the connector down to rail spawn. Very, very nice shots.
Yeah, beautiful stuff from k1llsen. They're so in control pretty much the entire time. It really was his game to run away with. Cypher, if he's going to have any moments to really just let it all hang out and go wild, the third map might be where he lets himself off the leash a little bit, because we need to see some kind of life from him. Right now, it's just k1llsen absolutely having his number in every single firefight they went into.
I just realized that shot that happened when cypher was getting his first kill is because that rocket helped him around the corner, in fact. Because that rocket was really good, but actually it ended up being the thing that killed k1llsen. Otherwise, he possibly could have round the upper corner if that rocket hit just a few units in front. Apologies there.
Could have been wild, but there you have it. k1llsen 2-0 already so far in the series, setting himself up potentially to try and take the full 3 and get those 16 points, which would skyrocket him.
I think it might put him in the lead as well, quite possibly.
I think it would go straight to first place.
Yeah, we've got Molten, we've got quakeProLeague for cypher, and we've got Doom now for k1llsen. I mean, again, quakeProLeague, you want to go over the stats, but I also want to go in the consistency we've seen from k1llsen in this series. Let's see. We normally get very sort of mobile champions on this map, but on this occasion, I think this is going to be quite a slow and steady one. There's some nice, charming words between these two.
Friendly rivalry. Keeping everyone happy in the server, but let's see who is going to be sad or furious when we get into the fragging now. 19 seconds in. As they take it slow. It's a change of pace. Both of them keeping it quiet.
A really depressing car film.
Yeah.
I'll leave.
It's a much more slower approach, though.
Yes. I'd expect this for a bit longer, too. This should be... I mean, the pace that we had in Blood Run earlier was actually pretty furious in, mostly because of just how good k1llsen was. But I expect this to be far fewer frags. Unless k1llsen happens to go into that mode yet again. He's hitting the rails. He wants to go for another. He's got the confidence the whole time. He's like, I got 74 health, but I'm going to reload quicker than you, and I'm going to hit the rail.
It's not a great start if you let k1llsen already break his way through the chains and just start going crazy. Dealing some damage out as well with a rocket. As he plays his cards very close to his chest, going for the slow positioning. Did that rail hit?
Yes, it did. That was a nice shot. Turret didn't even see it coming. It's like dogs can't look up, turrets can't look up. I'm actually very curious if turrets can look up. Can't say it.
I don't know. Yeah, what's their field of view like? Is it just a straight cone in front?
Well, that's it. I thought, is it like a round, like a horizontal plane, or have we got like the full?
We'll have to find out.
Yeah, exactly.
Listening out for any kind of noise here. Gets the read. llsen quickly adjusting based off the pitter-patter of the footsteps. Mega's going to be stolen from right under his nose. Oh, nice rail though.
So I hear something. llsen's kind of happy with his lead at the moment. He's like, right, well, let's do a la Blood Run or something. And he's out of there. Hits a rail shot. Okay, I'm in position now to take the heavy. You committed a bit too hard. Oh, there's some good damage from cypher. But back over to 100-100. cypher's not much better off than that. Oh, the double jumps, giving him so much. That LG cypher hits like a truck there. llsen knew when the mega health was up, but tried to assume that he could pick it up, but never mind. 2 rails in a row with 5 health left. There's the heavy armor. Can he get out in time before he's chased by the LG? He's launching himself away. There wants no part in that fight.
Goes for the leap across, looking to try and punish here as he's threading his way through the stack. cypher going to be sweating bullets as he backs off, trying to get himself into a bit of a better position. llsen fast on the hunt, the cheater chasing him down. Has crystal clear vision ahead, but needs to land the shot.
I think he knows where he's going to come from. No spam rockets out at all, though. Hold steady. Green cypher won't know exactly where he is. And llsen leaving the heavy alone. Doesn't want the obvious fight.
Ooh. The rail's going to connect. Punish a little bit there. Still got 5 rails remaining.
It's been a very patient sort of series from llsen. I feel like he's often been sort of waiting for the opportunities, even more than normal. And maybe it's just the way that he wants to approach cypher.
5-minute warning.
Because cypher is very good at sort of pouncing on a player and being a sort of ninja on the map. llsen far more defensive, it feels like, than when he goes against other competitors. Sneaky, sneaky. He's making so little noise.
Landing all his rockets, doing a fair bit of damage. llsen trying to see what he can find here, as he's still got the 1 frag advantage. So he's not feeling that he needs to go too crazy into this, although if the opportunity arises, he probably will look to try and capitalize on it.
5 seconds till the mega. He's just spotted him, and he thinks, okay, I can actually hold on to this position now. This mega health can be mine. Turret goes down, so he needs to get out of there. Oh, he gets the collateral. Can he escape? He hears a bounce pad being used, but he knows there's heaps of resources in rail room. And cypher's going to be... I thought he was going to go around the corner. He goes through the teleporter instead. Oh my god, the shotgun damage. And there's going to be bang 1 more. llsen edging himself closer to 16 points as cypher, again, it seems like this immovable object going versus llsen. Still hitting the rail shots.
Very slow matchup between these two. It's probably the most we've actually seen them trying to have a bit of a fight between each other in quite some time. It's been very slow. Coming up to the 7-minute mark, though, k1llsen does lead with 2. That's another kill. Back on towards the turret. Does he realise that the man himself is just a couple of steps ahead of him? Pre-fire with a rocket. That's going to be lovely as it will get the connection off. And he begins to back off. Oh, look at the adjustment from the rail, though. Both of them quite low. He's hitting his shots. The Mega is going to be the saving grace for cypher. And k1llsen bails out.
k1llsen missed a critical rail shot, which all of a sudden puts him in a bit of a sticky situation. He was railable for a moment. cypher misses his opportunity to go clutch himself. And his rockets, both players hitting good shots, but it is cypher who's got him low enough and finally can get himself back on the board. That one missed rail over at Mega Health for k1llsen. Is it going to cost him a bit? Heavy has been taken by k1llsen. And Mega Health is up already, so k1llsen is finding himself back into control. Passive play has been avoided for a few seconds longer. But now cypher's desperate for some resources. At least for him, he's given himself a hope in hell to come back. But he probably needs to kill about 30 plus seconds of time.
Not too much time left on the clock here. cypher hoping to try and get a shot to connect. He's got a single rocket left. He's got no armor either.
He wants the light where k1llsen has just passed at least.
Ooh.
I think k1llsen's going to deny it anyway, I'm pretty sure. k1llsen's right above too. He might be looking over the ledge in a second. He drops down, has a glance. cypher snapping to the teleporter exit. And he's really struggling to get that control that he needs. k1llsen, now that he's taken it, is not letting go.
Yeah, he's got this game by the throat right now.
Ooh. Okay, Mega pick up. That changes things. k1llsen goes passive, leaning towards that item. He does find the exit damage on it, however. That was essential. If k1llsen doesn't find that, cypher can probably attack within the next 20 seconds. As it stands, cypher can only really go in for a final 20-second push.
1 minute warning.
Starts zapping his way through, burning into k1llsen.
That was a very early commitment when cypher had the heavy behind him. He tried to catch him off guard, but I think k1llsen was expecting cypher to try this out and always made sure that, right, the most obvious entrance to where I am, have I got it covered? Yes, I do. There's the checkbox. I'm a frag up now. We've got 30 seconds left to go. And k1llsen's now just legging it away.
Just sprint out of there. Don't give him any opportunity to somehow find his way back into the game here. As long as you can kill the time, you've won the series and will get the full 3 points and put himself back in the first place in the overall rankings. As it seems like that's how it's going to go. k1llsen has evaded cypher and won the series.
Really, really nicely done from him. There's a rocket, and he gets in with a punch, and the last moments of the game, 5-2 for k1llsen here in our penultimate match of the evening. Guess that 3-0, man. 16 points on the board. Happy as Larry. 63% rail too. That's yeah, that is high. k1llsen came over. He went full Zadrot, and it was done.
He's going to be happy with himself with that one. Definitely gone the way he would have wanted it to. Closing it down there in the end with a full 3-0. Obviously the punch kill at the end as well, just to add the extra little bit of spice on top.
Got to. Right.
Yeah.
You've absolutely got to. Very slow game though. Methodical about the control, about the kind of mind games. k1llsen not really wanting to make a mistake. I think he made maybe one mistake the entire time where he let up a kill. But he was able to come back off the spawn so soon that it almost like strangely benefited him. We're going to see a few of these highlights, and that was a very clutch shot early on. If cypher wins that fight, then again, these little instances in a map like Molten can make a big, big difference.
Yeah, it was good stuff. It's a shame, obviously, as the debut for cypher. I feel like I would have expected some more crazy shenanigans from him.
So?
But when you're up against a man like k1llsen that's on form, it's very hard, especially to play comfortably, because that's what he does so well, is he takes you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, I mean, very much so. He hasn't had the same sort of gleaming start that CNZ has had into his entrance into QPL, but cypher also had the better result anyway, so he'll have to take the ups and downs of this. and get into next week. Hope that he can level up that performance and start getting himself the wins on the board there instead.
See if that will be able to save him and carry him over the edge, obviously, as things go forward. But for k1llsen, that's a huge result, going to put him into a great position. He's going to be happy to be once again back as the top dog.
Yeah, it's very true. We'll see the board, I'm sure, at the end of the show, but at the moment we've got one more match this evening that is left with us. We've got our boys, they'll be on screen in a moment. Rafa and Dewey is who we're going to be having. Dewey, who's making his debut into the Q